I am live, live, live. Let me get my fan. Let me get my fan. All right. Okay. All right. So I am live now, everyone. Let me just make sure. All righty. Hello, everyone. Hello. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Give me a second. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? All right. So it should be going live here because I'm connected to StreamYard, but I don't see it live on my YouTube. Are you guys here? Do you see me live on YouTube? Whew, I am hot. It is hot. Just let me know if you see me. I am alive and live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so thanks for your patience and bearing with me as I do these things that I'm doing. I am hot. I am hot. So what I would love for everyone to do, if you could, just hit the like button so that I can get more people to be notified that this video is live. As you all know, I'm doing this series about why people just don't like Meghan Markle. There's a lot out there that people don't know about if they're just now kind of catching up to all the drama with Harry and Meghan, and they just kind of don't get it. And I think that's part of why I wanted to just go back and talk about a lot of different things that have happened and to remind people of, what has transpired that has caused a lot of people to just give the side eye to this woman because sometimes you don't get it, and I can see people not really like understanding why people just don't like this woman. I think it's a very extraordinary story. I think that's why so many books have been written about Meghan, because it is a very extraordinary story that, you know, what this woman has been able to accomplish. She's been able to accomplish a lot. So thanks for everyone hitting the like button. Hello, hello, hello. So it is a lot going on in the news. If you've all seen my last couple of videos, I'm talking about this most recent Hollywood Reporter article. I think it's going to be very damaging to Meghan in terms of her career, wanting to accomplish things in Hollywood, because it is something that is read by a lot of people that may have never have met Meghan, that know she's living in Hollywood now, but they've maybe never have met her. Perhaps they've wanted to maybe get to know her, or maybe they've heard things about her. And then they read this article and they're just like, what? And it just is unbelievable. So today, what I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to just go back to the engagement interview. And we're just going to talk about that engagement interview here. And we're going to give some backstory to things that we heard during the engagement interview. But before I do that, I wanted to share with you all this comparison chart on Meghan's spending, because I think that is also another thing that has gotten people like really upset, because when you go out on a date and you're on a date with someone, they're paying, they've invited you to go on this date, and then you end up ordering everything on the menu. Like, you ordered the most expensive steak, you order dessert, you ordered the alcoholic drinks, like you just going crazy ordering things because you're not going to have to pay for it. And that's what I believe Meghan did. When she came into the royal family. She knew the bill was being foot by the king, and she wanted to take advantage of that. And it was such an insight to her character to see her do this, that it gave people pause to question, you have this budget, you have the access to order these things for your dress, because we want you to have, access to looking well and going out on these royal engagements. And they gave her money to spend, but this woman went buck wild crazy spending money, and she spent more than any of the other royals. And that, I think, is what is so astonishing to me. That is just crazy. So first, what I want to do is I want you all to look at this here. I'm going to put this chart up here. Let me see, share screen. And this is going to be, is it this one? Let me see. Is it this one or this was this one? Okay, here we go. All right. So here is the, this is the chart. Okay. So when Meghan came into the royal household, she spent more than any other royal. Now, let's just take a quick look at this, really, because, see, a lot of people may have not known this. This is why doing these videos, I think, are so good, because it's like giving us some chance to look in that rear view mirror and kind of look back and see, well, why didn't people like her? So we're going to look back and we're just going to look at this chart here. So as you can see, there are several royal families. We have the Swedish royal family. We have Denmark. We have the Netherlands. We have Monaco. We have the British royal family. Now, if we go to Princess Madeleine of Sweden, she spent the least amount. And this was in 2018. Okay, so she spent just 23,000 pounds. Okay, and then you look at Princess Sophia of Sweden. She spent 27,000 pounds. And then we have Princess Eugenie. She spent 33,000 pounds. I mean, can we just take a minute? I will take 23,000 pounds to spend on a wardrobe any day and make it just fly, make it look really well. Because, I mean, that's a lot of money to spend on clothes. Let's just keep it real. Okay. And you can still look royal. That's just something to be, expected, because you can find really nice clothing at a decent price, and being conservative in your spending, it just says a lot about you and your character. It translates into so many other things besides what you're actually wearing. Okay. And so then we have the Crown Princess of Met Marit of Norway. She spent 36,000 pounds. Queen Letizia of Spain, she spent 37,000. Victoria, Princess Victoria of Sweden, 39,000 pounds. Princess of Denmark, 44,000. We have Princess Beatrice spent 50,000. We have Queen of Maxima of Netherlands, who spent 50,000. Princess Charlotte of Monaco, she spent 54,000. Monaco, sorry. Then we have Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge. We know she spent 71,000, and that's a lot. 71,000. She spent 71,000, and that's really close to 100,000. I mean, that's a lot of money that Catherine spent on clothes, okay? But she is the future queen, and she's got to wear clothes that are not readily available to a lot of other people. I get it, okay? That's a lot of money. Close to 100,000 is a lot of money just on your clothes, okay? Let's just keep it real. Okay, and then we have Sophia, Countess of Wessex. She spent 77,000. Now, this is in 2018, everyone, when Meghan was still in the royal family. And then we had Crown Prince Mary of Denmark. She spent 92,000 pounds. Okay. Now, you guys, are you ready for this? Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, how much she spent. Now, this is when she was just in the royal family. Just in the royal family. Like I said, when you go on a date with someone and you know that they are going to be buying, you don't take advantage of that and start ordering all the expensive things. I knew a story. There was a story of this girl who had kids at home. Girlfriend started buying dinner for her kids. Buying food for her kids to take back, knowing that this man is paying for her. Okay? Taking complete advantage. And I have a true story for you. I need to give you some context because I couldn't believe this actually happened in my family. My family. I'm keeping it real today. I'm keeping it real. What happened in my family? Because there's ghetto in every family. I'm sorry. There just is. I don't care who you are, what family you come from. You're going to have some ghetto somewhere. So I was going to the store, the supermarket, with some out-of-town guests, and they were going to buy dinner for us all that night. I had a family member who was with us. Do you know that family member went and got some Pampers for his child and expected my guest from out of town who was paying for our dinner to pay for his diapers? Yes. The ghetto goes deep, folks. There's just something wrong. I was devastated. I was so devastated when that happened. I could not believe it. Picking up things and just wanting them to pay for it because they knew that they could afford it. And I mean, I was appalled. But that happened. True story, folks. True story. But let's just look at what Miss Meghan Markle and what she did as a new member of the royal family, what she spent. Girlfriend spent almost 500,000 pounds. 500,000 pounds on her clothes in 2018 as a new member of the royal family. Now, if this is not a reason to really look at someone suspiciously as a new member and to question, why would you do that? Why? That is outrageous to me. Outrageous. I mean, right there, that in itself is a reason to just look at Meghan and think, I cannot believe you are spending nearly $500,000 on your clothes as a new member of the royal family. That is ridiculous. That is ghetto. I'm sorry, Meghan Markle. You done shown your butt today, girl. I mean, really. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. 500,000 pounds. Almost £1,000,000 she spent on her clothes. That was a sign from the very beginning. And I'm almost certain that William saw that and he was like, I told you. Harry, I told you. I mean, you talk about really showing people who you are by going into this royal family and spending that much money as a new member. Don't you have any type of class about yourself to just be a little bit humble, show some humility, be a little conservative attitude about yourself, considering you are just in the royal family? I mean, you are a new member. How dare you do this? It's appalling. So that right there, for people who have not known that much about this woman, that says a lot. And so if I take it back to the scenario of the dinner and just spending up all this money, if you were taking someone out to dinner and they ended up spending all this money to eat a meal because they knew you were buying, would you still go out with that person again? Would you still give that person the benefit of the doubt and think, well, it's okay, it's okay? More than likely not. So why would the royal family have to show that Meghan is okay because, she did this? No, they were looking at her the same way. And who would blame them? Because that right there is a telltale sign of a person that just doesn't want to do the right thing. She never wanted to do the right thing from the very beginning, folks. The very beginning. Okay. So, yeah, and then you look at, she wants to be a humanitarian. She wants to be the woman to, show that she's out to do good in the world. She goes to Africa, to these different countries to visit children. I mean, a woman who does that, is she really trying to be that person, that humanitarian? I think not. I think not. Okay. All right. So that's what I wanted to show you about that. Now, we're gonna go through this engagement interview. I think the engagement interview shows us a lot about Meghan's character as well, because we have so much to look on now that we have seen so much that has happened, and now that we know what Hollywood has said about Meghan. Now we can now go back to this interview, the engagement interview, with a lot of insight to look at. This woman was just not saying things that were truthful, because we're getting ready to break it down. Okay. So here we go. Let me pull up that video. All right. Here we are. Here is the interview. We're going to go over it. Now, I'm going to play this and let me know in the comments if you can hear this, just because I want to make sure you can hear it all. I'm going to play like the first minute of this interview.
Proposal and the actual moment of your engagement. When did it happen? How did it happen?
It happened a few weeks ago, earlier this month, here at our cottage. Just a standard, typical night for us.
Cozy night. It was, what were we doing? Just roasting chicken
Trying to roast chicken.
Trying to roast a chicken, and it was just an amazing surprise. It was so sweet and natural and very romantic. He got on one knee.
Okay. Woo. Can you all hear this? Can y'all hear it? Let me know. Yes, you can hear. Okay, thank you, Anne. Okay, now, hello, my lovely friend Michelle. Thank you so much for your super sticker. That's my friend Michelle. Thank you for your super sticker, dear. Tell Jan hello. Okay, so if we just, in the beginning, even from the beginning, there's two things that I noticed from this engagement interview. Okay, there's two things that I noticed. Let me just make this like this. Okay, there's two things that I noticed. The first thing I noticed is, and I'm sure a lot of people noticed this, why is she holding this man's hand like he is getting ready to run away? Does she really have to hold his hand like that? Does she really have to like hold on for dear life? Like she's like she's holding on to him in a way that's very uncomfortable for me to watch. I don't know if you feel uncomfortable, but I feel very uncomfortable watching her hold this man's hand like that. Like literally, she is cupping this man's hand in such a invasive way that says so much. Your body language says so much about you. Really, it's just like, just like, give me some room. Can we just loosen it up a little bit? Do you gotta hold on to me like that? That just looks very uncomfortable. That right there is a sign of all the things that she would do moving forward. We knew that she is definitely going to do something not good. Not good, because she is invading this man's space during the engagement interview. Oh, hello, Paula M. Thank you so much, dear, for your super sticker. Looking fine, Miss PDINA'S. Send me Otis pics. Oh, yes, I will do that. Paula's doing a video with her members' dogs, and she's going to be putting together a montage. So, yes, I will do that. And thank you for your super sticker and for being here. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so that was the one thing that I noticed about that. And then right in the beginning, she started like she took over. Watch Harry, how he looks at her, and Meghan just goes off talking and doesn't give him a chance to really say hardly anything. Just watch that.
A few weeks ago, earlier this month, here at our cottage, just a standard, typical night
It's
for
a
us.
cozy night. It was what we're doing, just roasting chicken
Roasting
and
a chicken, fine.
Now that whole roasting chicken thing, I think, is a dig at Corey, because we know she was allegedly still dating Corey Vitiello from the restaurant owner. She was still seeing him, dating him, when she hooked up with Harry. And apparently he, I think, taught her, or there was something about roasting chicken that was between her and Corey. And I think that was a dig at maybe him, or in general about roasting chicken. It definitely was something that Meghan was like an underhand. It was like a cut. She was doing something with that. And there was definitely a message underneath that. But then you just look at how she just takes over the conversation. We'll just watch.
Trying to roast a chicken.
trying to roast a chicken, and it was just an amazing surprise. It was so sweet and natural and very romantic. He got on one knee.
Of course.
Was it an instant yes from you?
Okay, so he got on one knee, and she just made it seem so superficial and so she just made it seem very cheap to me. She didn't seem like it was a sweet, humble thing. It was just like, oh, you got on one knee, and it was like we were roasting chicken, and I can't with this woman. It's just like, you are so pathetically fake and just disgusting when you talk and make it seem like you are being a nice, sincere person. Because this man was taken from the very beginning, because she had her digs on him from the beginning, because she wanted him to put a ring on it so she could switch it up and change the script. And that's what happened. Okay? And that's what happened.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I could barely let you finish proposing. I was like, can I say yes now?
She didn't even let me finish. She said, can I say yes? Can I say yes now? And then there was hugs, and I had the ring in my finger, and I was like, can I give you the ring? She goes, oh yes, the ring. So no, it was a really nice moment. It was just the two of us, and I think.
Yeah, it was just the two of them, and she filmed it all, because we saw later during the Netflix documentary that they did, she recorded it. She recorded him engaging or proposing to her, because she knew she was going to use the video of this proposal later to sell to Netflix from the very beginning. She had Netflix on the brain during this interview. Don't get it twisted, folks. She had Hollywood on the brain still. This was just a catalyst to what she was going to do later. It was all planned. I mean, ask yourself, why would she film this? Why would you film the proposal if it's just you two there? Why are you showing the world this? Why are you even invading your own privacy and then leaving the royal family because you want your own privacy, but then you invade your own privacy and broadcast it to the whole world later for millions of dollars? It was never what she wants you to look at it in this moment, because the plotting and planning had already been happening. Harry just didn't know about it yet. He just didn't know. I mean, just look at how she's cupping his hand. Look at that. There's something very invasive about that, very controlling and manipulative about a woman that holds a man's arm like this, and for the man to allow it. The man should have broke free and let's just hold hands in a very natural, non-invasive kind of way, because this is kind of, you're causing me to feel like I'm closed in and I'm claustrophobic at this moment because you're kind of taking over. And that's what she did during the whole interview. This wasn't just for a couple of minutes. This is during the whole interview. She is holding his hand like this, folks.
I think I managed to catch her by surprise as well.
Yeah.
And this is how long after you first met?
Oh, it would be a year and a half,
Yeah.
a little bit more than that.
No, just about a year and a half, yeah.
Which for most people would
Now, did you catch that, folks? Did you catch what just happened there? I know I did. Did you? Meghan was trying to spin a lie right there. Because if you listen carefully, and we're going to listen again, she wanted to insinuate, which would have been, she was definitely with Corey still. Because she was with Corey back in early 2016 still. But she said, when they said, how long had you been together? She says, about 2.5 years. She's trying to get Harry to go along with the lie. 2.5? And Harry was like, no, just under 2 years. Let's just watch that one more time.
I was like, can I give you the ring? She goes, oh yes, the ring. So no, it was a really nice moment. It was just the two of us, and I think I managed to catch her by surprise as well.
Yeah.
And this is how long after you first met?
Oh, it would be a year and a half,
Yeah.
a little bit more than that.
A year and a half to a year, a little bit more than that. She wanted it to be more like a little over 2 years ago, but it wasn't, folks.
No, just about a year and a half, yeah.
Just about a year and a half. Okay, she ain't slick. You ain't slick. We saw you try to make a lie. That's a lie, woman. This girl is a trip. Yeah. And she was still with Corey. Allegedly, I believe she was. All right. Moving on, folks. Moving on.
Which for most people would be quite a whirlwind. Is that how it's felt to you?
I don't think that I would call it a whirlwind in terms of our relationship. Obviously, there have been layers attached to how public it has become after we had a good 5-6 months almost with just privacy, which was amazing. But no, I think we were able to really have so much time just to connect. And we never went longer than 2 weeks without seeing each other, even though we were obviously doing a long distance relationship. So it's, we made it work.
How did you first?
Okay. Now, when I watch her do that to me is a Diana thing, because I believe during this time, Meghan was feeding, I'm the Diana. I'm the mother that you lost. I am her. Because we have to remember, she was wearing the cologne, the perfume that Diana wore. She was giving these narratives that she was so much like Diana. Because when she, in the very beginning, knew that she was going to try to nab this prince, she had a vision board. Now, the vision board story came from Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly said it on her show that she had a vision board. Now, for context, I want to pull that up, okay? Because I think that needs to be said, because a lot of things come out of vision boards. And this is what she was doing in the beginning while they were still like those 5 months where it was just them together. She was feeding this, that I'm your mother. I'm your mother incarnate. I speak to your dead mother. I am the woman that is going to give you back what you lost from your mother, right? So let's just pull this up. Meghan Markle's vision board. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to pull that up so we can all just kind of see and hear that, because a lot of people may not have seen that. Okay, Meghan Kelly said this. So I'm going to pull that up here. I'm going to pull it up. Oh, share screen. And this is, yes, here it is. Meghan Kelly. Here we go. Now pay attention to this.
Why again? Because they made her rich and they made her a huge star, but she's really angry about it. Why? Because she wasn't able to be in the #1 spot because she married the spare instead of the heir. We should have done some homework on that. By the way, it's not for nothing, Dan, but I have it on very good authority now that she had a whole vision board of her life with the royal family and of the royal family themselves and Prince Harry when she was married to husband #1. Happen to have a good source on that. That's
No
the woman,
way.
the glow.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now, Meghan Kelly is a journalist, a very popular journalist, is not going to just say something that's a lie. She's not going to just get on there and lie. Okay. She said she had on very good authority that Meghan had a whole vision board on the royal family. And don't think this woman did not incorporate Princess Diana to try to nab this prince. Harry is a broken man, and it's easy to manipulate a beta man. He's not an alpha. He's a beta, okay? And he was easily manipulated by Meghan Markle's vision board. So when she's sitting there talking, looking at him and having those 5 months, she was plotting and planning without the whole world seeing what was happening. It was on the down low. It was secretive. It wasn't engulfed with all these people having headlines in the news. So that's when she nabbed him and made him think that she was this humanitarian, because don't get it twisted. Her Wikipedia changed. It changed to being a humanitarian. And this is when she went off to Africa. There's a lot of deep diving into that perhaps maybe I'll do a video on it, but she completely created the script when the whole world didn't know that they were together and they were seeing each other on these trips and doing all these things. This is why he was able to be easily manipulated, because of how she used his mother to nab him into this narrative. Okay. Very, very, I don't know, it's just sneaky. It's underhanded. It's manipulative. It's a lot of gross, and I think it's evil. And when you look at what Meghan has done as being evil and mean, because you are playing with someone's mental capacities. You are playing with someone's mental acuity to be able to just get along in life. And you are manipulating that for your own self-grandizement, your own chances of becoming what you envisioned for yourself. It's no longer about Harry. It's using his acuity. It's using all the things about him to help yourself. That is what is evil and mean, because at the end of the day, the ripple effect of the people affected by what Meghan has done is vast. It's a lot of different people affected by that. And you have to look at the Queen in her longevity as a queen and everything that she had to go through during the last years of her life has been affected by what Meghan has done for her own selfish reasons. It's horrible. It's so mean and vindictive, and I don't understand it. Okay, thank you, N, for your super sticker. Thank you very much for that. I'm sorry, I just saw that. Thank you very much. Okay, so going on to the next question here. Let me go back 1 second. Starting to get the hang of this apparatus. Okay, we are going back to the interview. Okay, here we go. Okay.
To meet.
Yes, we first met. We were introduced actually by a mutual friend who
We should protect her privacy and
protect her
not.
privacy.
Yeah, you see how Meghan like kind of, jumps in. Oh, we should protect her privacy. We should like she's controlling this. She's controlling this narrative. Now, the friend that they're talking about, I saw that friend's name and I cannot remember the friend's name. Tell me in the chat, do you all remember the name of the friend who apparently introduced them? Because the story changed. The story was he saw her on Instagram, and there was a story. Who did I see this through? Meghan became good friends with someone that knew the royals. It was, oh my goodness. I think I need your help here because I'm a loss for the names right now. So I'm just going to take a quick look here in the chat to see who it was. Okay, so Liz Cundy it wasn't Liz Cundy, Michelle. Liz Cundy was the lady who was told to have an interview or wanted to do an interview with Meghan in the beginning, and her bosses didn't want to because they didn't know who she was, but then she was forced to take her to this engagement to show her the ropes and everything, and then okay, so some of you are saying Misha Nuno. I believe that was the name of the person, and she was actually the wife of someone who was good friends with the royal family. And so through the network of meeting people and trying to get in that inner circle of royalty, that's how she was able to get close to Harry. Okay. Yes, that's true. Also, the Soho House. And this is where a lot of the people went. So she knew by having these relationships with people in the Soho House. And I mean, it's easy to do. It really is easy to do. I mean, you just have to look at somebody who is tenacious enough to get in those circles. You can do it. You can manipulate these circles easily. And that's what she did. But I like how she was just so, talking about how we should definitely keep her privacy. We don't want to reveal anything about her. Okay, so let's go on to the rest of this video.
Reveal too much of that.
And but it was literally through her, and then we met once and then twice back to back, 2 dates in London. Last July, beginning of July, and then it was, I think, about 3, maybe 4 weeks later that I managed to persuade her to come and join me in Botswana, and we camped out with each other under the stars. She came and joined me for 5 days out there, which was absolutely.
Because I'm just gonna keep it real, y'all. Girlfriend knew she was getting ready to do what she had to do to nab the prince. She was like, "Yeah, I'll come with you to Botswana." Where we going? Botswana. She was like, "Okay, I'm getting ready to give it up, get ready to do what I got to do because I got to nab the prince. He's invited me. I got to do it." And there's a lot of allegations around what could have happened during that time because you are going with a man that you really don't know to a foreign country. You're staying overnight with him. So we know it's getting ready to go down. Okay, it's getting ready to go down in the foreign country under the stars in Botswana. And if you're able to kind of entrap him in the beginning, then you're securing your future within royalty. Because don't get it twisted. This woman knew she was going to get this man entrapped into a scenario that made him have to be in this relationship forever. She had this was the chance. She had to do it. And then this is why the engagement, I believe, of Princess, the wedding of Princess Eugenie had to be, sidelined so that they could get married sooner. Because, oops, we had a mistake. Something up. What happened? That was the only security, because you could have hit it and left it, right? I mean, I'm sorry to be so blunt like that, but if you want to make it so that this is going to continue, you got to do something. I think Harry he had to fall for it in a way that said, okay, I'm in it. I mean, you're giving me my mommy vibes. I'm feeling close to you, because we have to also remember during this time, she was taken around to the family, and Prince Harry took her to see the Spencer family. And he wanted to convince the Spencer family, Diana's family, that she was so much like Princess Diana, because Meghan played on that and made him believe that. And so Harry took that and bragged on it to the Spencer family, Diana's family. And they were like, well, she doesn't seem that much like Diana to us. And now if anybody's going to know if she's a lot like Diana, it's going to be the Spencer family. But Harry was so brainwashed that he fell for the entrapment that Meghan gave him at the time, I believe. And he wanted to persuade others to believe it, to validate his own thoughts about Meghan being like his mom. But they kept it real. And they were like, no, I'm sorry. She don't seem like Diana to us. I mean, let's just quickly look at the differences. Diana died at the time, at the age Meghan came into the royal life. So Meghan had a whole Princess Diana lifetime when she came into the royal family. Unlike Diana, was a pure virgin, never with a man. Meghan has already been married, and allegedly people are saying that she has a child. I don't know about that, but she is a woman of color. This is also another reason why perhaps maybe he might not want to go there with her, because it just would have been frowned upon, perhaps, maybe. So she knew she had to find that if he doesn't marry her, put a ring on it, she had to have a reason, because she had too many of these things that weren't accustomed to being within royalty that he could have left her easily. So I believe it was during this time that there was some kind of accident, something that made him feel obliged to just, okay, let's just do it. Let's just go for it. And there's another thing that I believe that made Harry want to also bend the rules a little bit with Meghan, because we have to remember, Harry did talk about wanting to leave the royal family before Meghan, or wanting to just be a little rebellious. He was always rebellious. He was always the prince with a little bit of extra. And Meghan kind of gave that little extra that he could dig into his family about, to give them something to just be a little put aside about, in terms of, wanting to be different. He wanted something that was going to just kind of give them a jolt of getting out of the normality of things, just kind of be a little bit jolted into something more spectacular. And so for him, I think it was a lot to have someone of a Meghan type, a woman of color type, to kind of dig it to his family a little bit. Now, to his surprise, everyone allowed it. They allowed Meghan to marry into the royal family, even though they had reservations, because I believe because William and Catherine were doing so well, Catherine was really the superstar of the family and the future of the monarchy. They were like, okay, Harry, just go ahead and do what you got to do. Go ahead. Woman of color. Okay, go ahead. I mean, we think she could do great for the Commonwealth. Sure, bring her on in. And she's been divorced. Okay, well, so what? So what? Bring her in. And I think Harry thought that was going to be, a little difficult. But to his surprise, they allowed it. But Prince Philip, don't get it twisted, did tell Harry, one steps out with actresses, one doesn't marry an actress, and, considering that was said, and Meghan probably knew it was said, she should have owned up to trying to be better than that statement that was said by Prince Philip, because Prince Philip knew. I mean, let's keep it real, okay? He knew the time of day. Meghan should have proved that statement wrong by Prince Philip, but she didn't. She lived up to it. Worse than what I think Prince Philip even thought. She lived up to it. And that is what I think the tragedy of all of this is that she lived up to the negativity of what people thought about her. She could not rise above and be the superstar like Catherine, because Meghan was always in it for herself. And that was where it all went downhill from there. Okay, let's move on.
Absolutely fantastic. So then we were really by ourselves, which was crucial to me to make sure that we had a chance to get to know each other.
Yeah. But the friend who introduced you, was she trying to set you up?
Yes, it was definitely global interest there.
That's a lie. That's a lie. I'm sorry. This woman, even her friend Pretty, told us that Meghan was very much a Princess Diana fan. She was. She loved Princess Diana. But the manipulation behind not really knowing much about the royal family. I mean, look, as an American, why do you think I'm even here doing this channel? Why? Because Diana was everywhere in America. Everywhere. So for her to sit there and say that she didn't know there was a global interest, woman, you're lying out the side of your face. The impact of Diana on my life, and I'm older than Meghan. The impact of Diana on my life as an older woman was very significant in the States, because she was everywhere. She was on our magazines. There were shows about her. I mean, we saw so much about Diana, and to give you a more better perspective, the things we saw were the small pieces about where she would go, what she was doing, but we never really saw the intimate parts of what she was doing in terms of her charity work. We saw just the little highlights of it. Okay. And forget about the books. I mean, I have books galore. I had so many books on Diana in storage. When I left Germany, I just went back recently and picked up all of my stuff out of storage, and I could not believe all the stuff I had on Diana. So for her to sit there and say that was part of the game plan, so that Harry could think that she didn't know anything about who he was. But we heard Meghan Kelly say she had a vision board from a very good source. So that was also a part of the lie. Okay? Absolutely. Let's watch. Let's continue, shall we? Here we go.
I didn't know much about him. And so the only thing that I had asked her when she said she wanted to set us up was, I had one question. I said, well, is he nice?
Was he nice? Look at you, woman. Look at you. Was he nice? Are you for real, Meghan Markle? For real? Was he nice? We know that girl was Googling Prince Harry, net worth, mental challenges, like all these things. Was he nice? If that ain't a bunch of malarkey, I don't know what is. That's some malarkey. Was he nice? Okay, girl. I mean, just look at you. You look so stupid and ridiculous saying that question, saying that. Was he nice? You know, you knew everything about this man. And that right there just shows us that you're giving us a bunch of gobbledygook with this nonsense. Was he nice? Go, girl, go kick some rocks. Because you talking stupid now. Was he nice? Okay? This was plotted and planned.
Because if he wasn't kind, it didn't seem like it would make sense. And so we went and met for a drink. And then I think very quickly into that, we said, well, what are we doing tomorrow? We should meet again.
What are we doing tomorrow? Let's meet again. And then it was like, right, diaries. We need to get the diaries out and find out how we're going to make this work, because I was off to Africa for a month. She was working, and we just said, right, where's the gap? And the gap happened to be in the perfect place.
So how much did you, Prince Harry?
Okay, so the gap happened to be the perfect place. I guess this is when they were in Botswana. So we have to remember, during the time that they were together, not once did they ever go to the States. Not once did they ever go and live out this dream of being in California, because Meghan manipulated Harry enough to go wherever he wanted to go during this time to make him believe that I'll go anywhere you want in the world. Harry never wanted to go to California. Do you find that suspicious? He never wanted to go live in California or go visit there for a few weeks because he wanted to be in the sunshine. He took her to Africa. He took her to other places that he wanted to go to, and they were never in America. So the fact that he's in America now, after he put a ring on it, shows you that he is not there willingly. He's not.
Know about Meghan. Had you seen her on TV?
No, I'd never even heard about her until this friend said Meghan Markle. I was like, right, okay, give me a bit of background. What's going on here? So no, I'd never watched Suits.
I mean, can we just? She's like, oh, I nabbed him. The girl, she was like, girl, I got him. I nabbed him. I mean, she was like, I gotcha. I'm sorry. Oh, Harry, you've been taken for a ride. And this woman, I can just look at her. She's like, you fool. Look at you. You just don't get it, do you, Harry? You don't get it. Look at you. Look into my eyes. He didn't get it.
I'd never heard of Meghan before, and I was beautifully surprised when I walked into that room and saw her, and there she was sitting there. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna really have to up my game. And sit down and make sure.
She was like, no, you don't. No, you didn't. Just show up, Harry. We're gonna do this, Harry. You don't have to up your game. She didn't say nothing. She's like, no, we're gonna do this, Harry. Watch, we're gonna do this. Harry, you a fool, man. You a fool. Look at you now in California. Hobnobbing with the rich and famous and celebrities, the sideways celebrities. You just think you got it all, don't you? Harry, you're stuck. You're in California now. Look at you. And this is what I find surprising, how she manipulates their future in this interview. Just hold tight.
We've got a good chat.
I think for both of us, though, it was really refreshing, because given that I didn't know a lot about him, everything that
lie. Yes, you did. Once again, you hear the manipulation. She didn't know a lot about him. She says it repeatedly during this interview. I didn't know a lot about him. Keep reinforcing the lie so that it is felt as the truth. Keep reiterating that. Terrible.
that I've learned about him, I learned through him, as opposed to having grown up around different news stories or tabloids or whatever else. Anything I learned about him and his family was what he would share with me.
I mean, excuse me, but didn't she live in Canada? Isn't the queen on the money in Canada? You never once while living in Canada on Suits said, who is this white woman on this money? Who is this lady? You didn't know much about his family? Really? And the queen is everywhere in Canada. Everywhere. And you didn't know much about his family, but you were working on Suits in Canada for years. Your money that you use to go buy everything in Canada had his grandmama on the money. His grandmama. And you didn't know nothing about this man? For real, Meghan Markle? For real? Yeah. Sure you did. Keep reinforcing the lie.
And vice versa. So for both of us, it was just a really.
And see how she did that, and vice versa. So Harry didn't know much about her. She's reinforcing. She didn't know much about him. We're in the same boat, Harry. That's a lie. You knew everything about him, but you made him believe that you knew nothing about him. But you knew his cousin, Princess Eugenie, from Soho House. And this fool, this idiot, fell for it. That's what is so shocking. And look at how she's still holding his arm like that. Still. You are still holding on to this man like the claw. I mean, my hands would have went numb by now. But Harry's trying to be polite. But she knows what she's doing. She's very slick in that she can manipulate this very mentally damaged and insecure man. And that's why she holds on to him like that, because he allows it. He wants that.
Authentic and organic way to get to know each other.
And was that quite refreshing for you in the way that you've been brought up, with a lot of people knowing a lot about you? Was it refreshing?
Or thinking they know.
Or thinking they know.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it was hugely refreshing to.
I mean, thinking they know a lot, Harry says. And Meghan is just, it's just so sad and tragic that he goes in to talk about this woman who doesn't know anything about him. I mean, you are one of the most famous families in the whole world. When your mother died, Diana, there was nothing. Billions of people watched your mother's funeral, Harry. And for Harry to sit there and say, for her to not know much about me, lets you know how crazy he is. Are you that crazy in your head? Do you not realize how famous your mother was? The sea of flowers that were in front of Kensington Palace when she passed away. The number of people that watched your mother's funeral. And for you to sit there and say she didn't know much about me. Excuse me? I just can't understand the manipulation. And this is what is so interesting, that his brother tried to tell him, because his brother knew. William knew, you're not going to find people that are not going to know who our mama was. I'm sorry. You're just not going to find those people. The only people that will be able to not know who our mother was were people, very indigenous people that live without electronics. And this woman ain't coming from the bush. I'm sorry. She's coming from Hollywood. Okay? She very much knew who Diana was. And that's what is astounding to me, that you can't even go back to when you were a child and all the people that grieved your mother's death to think that she did not know who you are. That is unbelievable to me. It is astounding and so shockingly sad that he did not listen to his family, because the manipulation, people, is deep.
To be able to get to know someone who isn't necessarily within your circle, doesn't know much about me, I don't know much about her. So to be able to start almost afresh, right from the beginning, and getting to know each other step by step, and then taking that huge leap of only 2 dates, and then going effectively on holiday together in the middle of nowhere, and showing a.
I mean, think about it. She was willing to go on a date with a man actually, she was willing to go to Botswana. Oh, no. Sorry. Oh, sorry about that. She was willing to go to Botswana with a man that she only went on 2 dates with. Now, I don't know how many women would do that, but going on a date with a man to Africa after only knowing him for two dates, that right there tells you, oh, she's trying to do something. She's trying to do a little bit of something. Because she getting ready to go out into a foreign country with a man to Africa, Botswana, and only been on 2 dates, and you did not know where he came from. You did not know his family, Meghan Markle. I don't know too many women that would do something like that. I mean, we got to get to know each other a little bit better before I'm going off to the bush with you. But you did it willingly, Meghan Markle, because you knew who he was. That's a lie that you didn't, girl. That's a lie. Ooh, it's thick.
Showing a tent together and all that kind of stuff. It was fantastic. It was absolutely amazing to get to know her as quickly as I did.
And starting a lot.
And isn't that funny? To get to know her. In that moment, she could have easily said, yeah, and to get to know you. Right? It wasn't about trying to get to know him because she already knew who he was. She already knew. Hold on a second. Okay. All right. Hold on 1 second. Okay. I just had to close out a couple of things here. Hold on. All right. Okay, let's continue watching.
Long distance relationship. You were working on Suits. You had, I imagine, a packed filming schedule. You've got lots of commitments of your own. How hard was it to keep things going?
But really quickly, isn't it interesting that Harry didn't ask her about the money? Like when she's living in Canada, did Harry not think to say, well, you had to know who my family was? I mean, my mother, my grandma is on the money. I mean, like, didn't he think to say that to her? How could you not know my grandma? My grandma's on the money in Canada. Oh, Harry. Oh, Harry.
It was
just a choice, right? I think that
I'm just go back. I
very early.
And starting a long distance relationship. You were working on Suits. You had, I imagine, a packed filming schedule. You've got lots of commitments of your own. How hard was it to keep things going?
It was
just a choice, right?
Yeah, it was your choice, Meghan Markle. She's like, Harry, we're going to make this work. Oh, yes, we're going to make this work, Harry. I'm going to come see you. And yeah, we're going to make it work. Don't you worry, Harry. Don't you worry. I'm going to put in all the effort I have to make this work. Isn't it interesting how she put in a lot of effort to make this relationship work then? But once she had the ring on it and it was time to really make her relationship work within the royal family, she wasn't willing to put in hardly any effort. Because by then it didn't matter. But she wanted to put in all the effort in the beginning. He's in the UK. She's in Canada. You know, there's this back and forth. But she, you know, look, she made a choice to make it work then. Let's listen to what she says.
Right. I think that very early on when we realized we were going to commit to each other, that we knew we had to invest the time and the energy and whatever it took to make that happen. And so yes, with the filming schedule, it was not the easiest because it of course included a lot of travel back and forth, but
I don't think you've had any idea what time zone you've been on for the last year and a half.
No.
Coming over here 4 days or a week and then going back and then straight into filming the next day, 4 a.m. wake up calls on a Monday,
yes.
Straight into set, you know. And
right off the plane and straight to set.
Yeah,
and just coming
I'm just
back
trying to stay as close as possible, but you know, on 2 different time zones.
I mean, isn't that remarkable that that all the effort it took then before they were married? She wasn't willing to do it once she was in the royal family.
Zones and 5 hours apart does have its challenges, but we made it work, and now we're here. So we're thrilled.
But in the case of your relationship, unlike for most people, there's this whole layer of what it means to get involved with someone from the royal family. How much of a sense did you have, Meghan, of the enormity of what you were getting into?
It's because of the things that happened around the race issue. But he knew, because he said, I tried to warn you. So how could he have been surprised if he tried to warn her? Okay. The only thing he could be referencing in this point is this letter that he had exposed where he told the royal family to put out about the harassment. It was a lot going on because of her race being part of the issue. But he tried to warn her. He told her. She made a choice to be in this relationship knowing what Harry told her from the beginning. Girl, don't even try to lie. Don't even try to lie. I mean, it's appalling that you try to say things that are different from the truth while you're being interviewed. It's crazy. Thank you. It's Meghan like Reagan for your super sticker. Violet von Westenholz. That sounds like it's German. Violet von Westenholz. Dankeschön. Okay, let's keep watching the interview and press the like. Are you enjoying this? Let me know if you like this conversation, to do a deep dive into this relationship during the interview, because I think it says a lot. So let me know how you're feeling, because I think it's very revealing and interesting to see it with all the backstory, all the things that we know now, And here is the other lie. But she was working with the paparazzi to get into the tabloids. Did you all know that? Did you know that Meghan was reaching out to the paparazzi to get into the tabloids? She was very much a part of the tabloid culture. Let me see. Let me just find explains Meghan Markle wanted to be in the tabloids. Let's see here if I can find that video. Let's see. There was a guy that I saw. He talked about how he was actually phoned by, like, Meghan would phone the paparazzi to get into the newspapers, the tabloids, because she knew it was going to up her profile on this show, Suits. It was going to give her more exposure because she had to capitalize on her time on the Suits show, because it was going to give other people like casting directors, producers, directors, they were going to be able to really consider her for projects if they would see her in the tabloids. So, of course, she was trying to get on in the tabloids at the time when she was on Suits. And it makes sense that she would do that. That is like acting 101. You do everything you can to up your exposure while you're already on a show, so that more people can see what you're doing, to consider you for other projects, to get in other films. And it would make sense that Meghan would be the type of actor to want to get into the tabloids, so she could up her profile to grow as an actor. There's no way she wasn't a part of tabloid culture. She wanted to be a part of tabloid culture. As a matter of fact, let me just find this other article. Meghan did a blog, okay? And on this blog, she talked about her the wedding of Prince William and Catherine. And let's see here. I'll share this tab. Okay. So you see this tab here, this right here. This is Meghan holding the cover of this magazine before she was in the royal family. And on the cover of this magazine, if you can't see it, is Catherine, Princess of Wales. Okay. She definitely knew who Catherine was. Okay. So she knew tabloids. She wanted to be in the tabloids. She's holding up a tabloid paper right there. So to lie and say you don't know much about tabloid culture is just so disingenuous to everything, because you are really trying to play people for fools in the very beginning. And that's exactly what she did. She played people for fools. All right. Back to the interview.
It's another.
Okay, just really quickly. Of course, people are going to be stupid. You're going to have all kinds of people that are going to say racist things. And once again, as a Black woman, racist things are just going to happen. And to their credit, to not focus on that was the right thing to do. Okay? Because there were, I think, nasty things said, but in the mainstream press, people were very positive. And the people that did say negative things that were in the press, they were outed because it wasn't tolerated. And that's important to say, because it wasn't the people that were the mainstream relative important news publications that were saying these negative things. It was the general public. It was people that really weren't paid to cover them. There was one instance of a man that said something about or compared Meghan's children or their children to a monkey, that he was fired. So you have to look at how were people dealt with that did say racist things, because it's one thing to not do something about it and to have racist things happen, because I think that would be despicable. That would be horrible. But it's another to have consequences to the people that did do racist things that were in mainstream. And that's what happened. That right there tells you everything you need to know about the culture of the British people, that they would not allow someone to treat her in a way that was racist, or to be racist towards her, because they were dealt with consequences. But to their credit, to not focus and to do that was a good thing. But isn't it surprising that they did not choose to do that once they were married? They wanted to focus on the racism later. But when they were in this time, they chose not to focus on it. Meghan chose not to focus on it. And I ask you this question. Why couldn't Meghan Markle choose not to focus on any negativity of things that she may have heard from the press when she was in the royal family? Why did they have to leave because of certain things, which, by the way, was not there, but they had to have an excuse because she wanted to leave? It just shows you, when you go back and look at the interview and listen to the answers to their questions when they were in this beginning mode, it really gives you cause to stop and think, well, why did you leave later when you were asked these questions in the beginning, you chose not to focus on it? Why didn't they choose to focus on their work when they were in the British royal family, when they were working senior royals? They did here. So it gives you the perspective of not being really sincere, not being authentic, because you made very different choices later in the royal family than what you did in the beginning, because here is where it really counted. You needed the people on your side. You needed the royals to have you come into the family and accept you so that you could do work to support them in their work, and the Queen and the mission, which she wants you to believe she did want to do. But it all changed much later.
The job part of it.
Okay. Oh, Lord. Harry is sitting here talking and saying all these things, and Meghan doesn't say anything. During this whole interview, she was able to come in and manipulate certain things, but he's saying things that she just does not agree with. She doesn't agree with it. She knows she's going to have to swallow her pride, suck it up, and say absolutely nothing, and just let him just say it. Just say it. She wants people to believe she's going to be there to do all these things, but no, she didn't want to. It wasn't going to be the plan to stay and do all of these things. Just go ahead and say what you have to say, Harry, so people can believe it. But she never wanted to be a part of the plan and part of the team. She had other intentions, I believe. And this is why they're not there in the royal family now. But Harry thought this was going to be the plan right here.
As well, is obviously a huge relief to me, because she'll be able to deal with everything else that comes with it. But no, you know, we're a fantastic team. We know we are, and we hope to, you know, over time, try and have as much impact for all the things that we care about as much as possible.
I am very excited about that. Yeah.
And Meghan, give.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited about that. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I was just like, yeah, she was like, yeah, I'm very excited about that. Yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. I am so sorry. But just hearing her say that, it's just like, yo, you lying. You know you ain't excited. You are not excited. Let's just hear her say that one more time, shall we? Let's just hear her say it one more time.
Excited about that. Yeah.
Sorry.
And have as much impact for all the things that we care about as much as possible.
I am very excited about that. Yeah.
And Meghan, give.
Like, yeah, I'm very excited about that. Next question. Yes, next question. Oh, and look at Harry. He's all happy. He's like, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do this, are we, Meghan? And she was like, okay, next question. Oh my gosh, it's so terrible. It's terrible. I mean, really. I mean, think about it. She is looking at this man and she's like, she's not excited at all. And Harry's got this big smile on his face, like, yeah, we're going to do this, girl. We're going to do it. Oh my gosh, you know, I'm sorry. Hindsight is really good in this situation. It's really good because we can see it for what it really is.
Given your acting and the profile you had, you'd already been involved in various causes. You'd been an ambassador for UN Women. What about this new role? I mean, you're going to have a bigger platform, a bigger voice. What do you want to do with it?
I mean,
Sing.
can you imagine? No, I'm not a singer. I think what's been really exciting as we talk about the transition of this out of my career but into the role is that, as you said, the causes that have been very important to me, I can focus even more energy on, because very early out of the gate, I think you realize once you have access or a voice that people are willing to listen to, with that comes a lot of responsibility.
You hear that? This is her messaging all along about having a voice, you know, and she's saying here that, you know, having a voice and people are willing to listen to it, you know, that's a responsibility that you have to hold near and dear and use that very well, because it's a big responsibility. But she changed the script. She changed it much later because she knew she wanted to have a much bigger voice than the royal family. So she's trying to say something without really saying how she truly feels, because she knew she was going to have to go by what the royals wanted her to do. It was no longer just about what you want to do, Meghan Markle. She's being very careful to say what she wants to say, but not saying too much.
It's an immense change.
It's a lot to do. Yeah. But you didn't want to do it, did you, Meghan Markle? Yeah, I didn't want to do it. Yeah. And I think Harry's just all giddy about it, thinking, oh, she's going to help grandmama. We're going to go do this. We're going to help the Commonwealth. I got me a girl, some color. We're going to go around. We're going to talk to the people. And we're going to make grandmama proud. How quickly things changed. How quickly things changed. She wasn't willing to put in the hard work anymore once she got the ring on it.
You're getting a new country out of it,
Mm-hmm.
a husband, obviously, but also giving up your
nice.
career.
Yeah, you know, she's really excited. Like, oh, yes, I'm getting a husband, a rich husband, a royal husband. I mean, just look, she's giddy. Let's just look how giddy, because she knew this is it, y'all. This is it. I done hit the jackpot. Watch, just watch.
I'm passionate about under this umbrella. And also being able to go around to the Commonwealth. I think it's just the beginning of a.
There's a lot to do.
Really,
There's
a lot to do, right?
And it's an immense change. You're getting a new country out of it,
Mhm.
a husband, obviously, but also giving up your career.
She's like, yep, I got the jackpot. I'm hit the jackpot. I got the jackpot, y'all. I got me a royal. I hit the jackpot. That's where all that giddiness came from, all that excitement, because she knew, look, Harry looking at her like, yeah, you hit the jackpot, honey. You hit the jackpot. But she had different plans, didn't she? You know, and that was like really hard for her to get out, like work as a team with you. No, with the royal family. Work as a team with Harry, she says. But no, you were working as a team with the royal family, the queen. You were now under the queen's tutelage. And that's very revealing that she doesn't say really fluidly to work for the family, the institution. It's Harry, to manipulate Harry. He is on the team to get me out of being on this big royal family team. I think that was very revealing when she said just that, because of course she's going to know you're under the queen. You're not under Harry. No, you're working on a team with William, Catherine, the monarchy, the institution. But she doesn't say that here.
It's a responsibility, Prince Harry, for what you were asking Meghan to do.
Of course, that sense of responsibility was essentially from day one, or maybe a couple of months in, when I suddenly realized, actually, this is, you know, I know that I'm in love with this girl, and I hope that she's in love with me, but we still have to sit down on this.
Yeah, you got to hope. You got to hope, don't you, Harry? I know you hoping. Keep hoping, okay? Just keep hoping, okay? Go on. What else you got to say?
Sofa, and I still had to have some pretty, frank conversations with her to say, look, what you're letting yourself in for is, it's a big deal, and it's.
You hear this, folks? Listen, and look at how her face drops. Look at how her face drops. I mean, first of all, let me just say something really quickly. You know, and I think this is why this video was so important for me to do, because you can really see how Meghan felt in the beginning, but you couldn't really say it at the time because we didn't know what her true intentions were, but people felt something. People felt like, this just isn't quite right. There's something there. People felt that. And I think this is why coming back to watch it now, it's like ding, 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 ding. Because now you have hindsight, you have context. And when you watch how Harry really stresses yet again, how this is going to be difficult. Are you sure? Because remember, Cressida, his other girlfriends, they got a taste of it. And they were like, I'm sorry, Harry. I don't want this. Because they knew full well what it was going to be. And so did Meghan Markle. She knew. Because Harry's going to say it again. How you knew what this was going to be. Because I tried to warn you. Let's watch that.
It's not.
That is what got date 2, because that's when she went off to Africa. She had a project where she was able to take all these pictures of herself in Africa, similar to Diana. Let me just pull up the picture. And she took these pictures. Let's see here. When she went over there for the charity, she was able to This was part of the vision boarding that that Meghan Kelly talked about, because she was going to go over there. She was going to change the way she did things, because she knew if she was able to show Harry that she is a humanitarian, that she was this woman who was in Africa doing all these great things, she was able to get him to feel like she is connected to the things of Diana and what Diana was doing. It was all a part of the manipulation and the plan, because she did a lot of homework in the beginning. So this picture right here is her before she met Harry, and she went over to Africa. So Meghan Markle posted more pictures of her doing good works on her Instagram, highlighting the charity trips she made before marrying Prince Harry. Pictured above is the actress on a trip in Mbadazi Primary School in Rwanda in March of 2016. Now, that is very key, because this was the prime time when she was still with Corey, but it was in the pre-Harry days when she had him on her vision board, because they met allegedly in June, July, right? This was her setting the tone for being in Africa, putting it on Instagram, so that when Harry scrolled through her Instagram, he saw her in Africa doing things that he was passionate about, to reel him in. Because she just said in the interview, this is what got date number 2. Okay, so let's look at her in Africa. This was when she was, I think, in the royal family, though. Yeah, this was when she was part of that picture was here. And then there's the pictures later with Harry in Africa. But don't get it twisted, folks. Here she is in Africa. This here was a paid tribute to valuable and vital work of women who were supporting schoolgirls through their education during this visit. Now, the images of Meghan in Rwanda in 2016 with World Vision, which was expanding access to clean water in rural areas, before she met Harry on a blind date 4 months later. Other pictures posted today show her there later. But this is what was interesting. When she went to Rwanda, the photographers were actually complaining about Meghan's attitude during her trip to Rwanda, because she was very diva-like, taking photos with these underprivileged children and trying to market herself. I think what I'll have to do is do a video about that, so that you can see and hear what this photographer was saying about her during that visit, because she used it as a way to increase her chances to get hooked up with Harry, but then to also take photos and to highlight herself and show her diva-like behavior, because she's shown her diva-like behavior in Hollywood. We've seen that. And that's exactly what she did pre-Harry, because that was always in her attitude, always in her behavior, to behave the way she's behaved, even when she went to Africa before she knew Harry. That was how she got date number 2. She said it herself, folks, and you heard her say it. I mean, just did you see that laugh? Like, it's like over exaggerated. It's like you're really trying to cover up. You're being a little bit over extra. You're being a little too extra. It was a simple question, children, and you just got this just big old goofy laugh when they say that. Watch it again, folks.
No. No, of course, I think, one step at a time, and hopefully we'll start a family in the near future.
Have you met each other's family?
And interesting, she didn't say anything into that, did she? She didn't really expand on it. There was no expanding on it, just kind of looking at Harry. Yeah, later, we'll see. I'm not going to say too much about that, but we all know the rumors. We've heard the things that have been said. Okay. Now watch this part where she talks about the family part and how she doesn't really expand on her own family, but it's more about Harry's family.
Families, I imagine.
Yes, his family's been so welcoming and
Okay. The question was, I'm sure you've met each other's families. And she immediately went in. Yes, his family. His family. She don't want to talk about her family. She controls the narrative. She sets the tone. Let's watch that.
In the near future.
Have you met each other's families, I imagine?
Yes, his family's been so welcoming, and
You've met quite a few of them, actually.
I have on both sides of his family, his mom's side as well, which has been really important to me too. But yes, the family.
Yeah, I'm sure it is his mom's side of the family, the Diana side, a family that you knew, because I'm sure that was very important to meet the Diana family, because you started out as a fan of someone of Diana. You love Diana. And to go in and how she talked about how everybody was really nice. It's amazing how things changed later. But to talk about how everybody was so sweet and kind, maybe they weren't as kind or whatever later, or you thought they weren't because you changed Meghan Markle. In the beginning, it was all things were great. Listen to how she talks about the family.
Has been great, and over the past year and a half, we've just had a really nice time getting to know them and progressively helping me feel a part of not just the institution, but also part of the family, which has been really, really special.
Trying to track them down and make sure that they're around at the same time that she's popping in without telling too many people. And so we've actually done incredibly well to make sure that you've met all the key people.
So does that mean a lot of the time that you've been together in this last year and a half, you've been at home a lot?
Yes. No, we've we had to sort of reverse the whole process, and cozy nights in.
So, I mean, it's just so interesting. She didn't say, you want my money when I was living in Canada. Did you know that, Queen Elizabeth? I mean, she didn't put two and two together. She didn't do that. It's just the manipulation is crazy. It's crazy. And it's like, you should have been taking the time to go see her family as well. And that never really came up as important, but
it was very sweet.
Like,
That has to be a good sign. Speaking of dogs, have you brought yours to the UK?
Well, I have two dogs that I've had for quite a long time, both my rescue pups, and one is now staying with very close friends, and my other little guy he's in the UK. He's been here for a while.
Okay. Let's hope he adjusts well.
I think he's doing just fine.
Wasn't there some issue around her dog, the one dog that didn't get to come? I don't know too much about that story, but I remember hearing about it. Because there was a lot of controversy around her dog that did not come, like it was not allowed to come or something. I don't really remember what that was, but unbelievable. It was not a good thing. Roxanne, thank you so much for your super sticker, Roxanne Newman. Thank you very, very, very much. Okay, you guys, I am loving this. Now I'm going to try to wrap this up at 4:00. So we're going to get through the rest of this video. And hopefully if I don't get through all of it, I'll finish it next Saturday. But thank you so much, Roxanne Newman, for your super sticker. Okay, let's get back into the rest of this.
What was it like introducing Meghan to your father and your brother?
Okay, not this part. Okay.
What was it like? It was exciting. I mean, I've been seeing her for a period of time when I literally didn't tell anybody at all. And then William was longing to meet her, and so was Catherine. So, they're being our neighbours. We managed to get that in quite a few times now. And Catherine's been absolutely
wonderful,
amazing.
What was that, Meghan? She's been wonderful. Really? Oh, okay. For the record, she's been wonderful. Thank you very much, Meghan Markle.
Says William as well. Fantastic support. And then my father as well. We had a couple of, no more than that.
We've had
a handful of teas and meetings and all sorts of gatherings over at his place as well. So no, the family together have been absolutely solid support, and my grandparents as well have been wonderful throughout this whole process, and they've known for quite some time. So how they haven't told anybody is again a miracle in itself. But no, the whole family have come together and have been a huge amount of support.
They've been amazing.
And Meg,
Oh, they've been amazing, huh, Meghan Markle? They've been amazing? Oh, my goodness. That's not what you said during the Netflix documentary. You didn't say that during Netflix. What did you say? You're a hugger? You're a hugger, and they were taken aback by the hugs? You didn't say that, did you, Meghan Markle? Yeah, because I knew you're trying to get the ring. You're trying to get the ring. You're trying to get that paper signed, that marriage license. You kind of had to hold it in and hold back, right? But you said they were amazing. Yeah, you did. We heard you. Just the lies, the lies. Now she's getting ready to be asked this question about her family. Watch how she diverts.
Meghan, your parents, do you think, well, very happy for you, obviously. Do you think
Yes.
they have worried at all about the scale of what you're getting into?
Well, I'm sure at the onset, both my parents and my close friends were concerned because we got very quickly swept up in a media storm that, as I shared, was not part of my life before that. But they also had never seen me so happy. And I think also once my friends, were able to really meet Harry and my mom, who we spent a lot of time with. It was so much fun.
Your mom's amazing.
It was just,
You just see the slight there, how she really goes into the friends, her mom. It was always planned from the very beginning to never allow Thomas Markle Sr. to be a part of the plan to see Meghan with her father. You don't see one photo of Meghan with Thomas Markle Sr. once she met Harry, and that was intentional. If you remember from the interview that I did with Thomas Markle Sr., he told me what happened, where Thomas Markle wanted to go to Canada in the beginning when they were going to announce, or it was going to come out that Meghan was dating Prince Harry. Meghan was with her mother. He wanted to come, and have Meghan be seen with both of her parents. Rightly so. Who would not want that to be the case? I think that was exactly what Thomas Markle Sr. should have wanted, because you are her father. She is marrying into royalty. And that should have been a part of the plan. But as you can see from this interview, Meghan says her friends, her mom. She doesn't go in on her father in the beginning like this, because that was intentional to out him from the very beginning, before any photos were taken. It was the plan. That was the plan.
it was just obvious that no matter what we were being put through, that it was just temporary and that we were going to be able to get through that. So everyone was really happy with me. He's talked to my dad a few times, hasn't been able to meet him just yet.
Hasn't been able to meet him just yet. And she knew it was never going to happen. She knew it was never going to happen. He talked to Thomas Markle. They text on the phone, but Harry never made it there. Now, I do know that there is a video that is going around where Samantha Markle talked about Harry meeting Meghan, or Harry meeting Thomas Markle. And the inside story to that is it makes a lot of sense. And this is what happened. In the beginning, as you can imagine, it was intended to keep things covered up, to really be on the same page. And it was always planned at some point, Thomas Markle Sr. was going to meet Harry, because Meghan, when she was in California, was still seeing both of her parents. And Harry was going to come to meet with them. And I've been given permission to say this story. This is only why I'm saying it now. But in the beginning, he was going to meet Thomas Markle. And the plan was that they were going to meet, and this had to be the same story with everybody in the family, the siblings, everybody, okay? What ended up happening was Harry ended up not showing up. Something happened. I don't know why he could not show up. By that time, Harry was already gone. He never showed up, but it was said that they were going to meet and that they did meet. It was planned that they were going to meet, but it never ended up happening. And by then, the story had changed that they never did meet, because now Harry never made it. He never ended up showing up. But the plan was always that they were going to meet. It was going to be a great thing. And everybody had to be on the same page with that story. Okay? It never happened. And this is why when you hear that Thomas Markle and Harry met, that was the plan. It never happened. And that's why the story is now that they never met. They only talked over the phone. Okay, that's the story that I found out.
But it's all been worth every effort.
Yeah, it's been great.
And she kept it very simple. Every effort, it's been worth every effort. And all the effort that Meghan put into this was to make it so that it stayed within her narrative, because the story did change later. In the beginning, it was supposed to be family. He was supposed to meet the family. It never happened. Now, I don't know why he never showed up. I don't know why that ever happened, but Meghan Markle knew that it was never going to be eventually he was going to go see my father again later, because we all know what happened, and that part is history. But she kept it very short and sweet. Oh, he talked to my father on the phone, but there's plans to meet him later. Okay, moving on. It was very controlled.
Your ring.
Oh, yes.
Tell us about your ring.
Okay. All right. It's 4:00, folks, and I have to get off of here. I just want to put it out there that a lot has happened from the time of this interview has been aired, a lot. And now we can see in hindsight a different story. And I hope that this has been insightful to you all, that you can see it. Thank to 2 Pence for your super sticker. Great informative chat. Thanks so much for saying that. Thanks to all the super chats. I really appreciate it. I'm very committed to doing these stories and talking about why people don't like Meghan Markle, or why people are so looking at her with the side eye, because I think a lot has happened. And I think going back and really revealing some things, and maybe doing some follow-up videos, more deep dives about the things that happened subsequent to this interview, is going to give more insight into why people are the way they are, or why we talk about what we talk about in regards to Meghan Markle, because it's a very deep, sinister, manipulative, evil, I believe, way that this relationship came together. And in the end, a lot of harm has been caused to families, to people, and it hasn't been a good thing. And it all began right here with this interview. I believe a lot started from there. All right. That's all I have for today. I will pick back up next weekend and talk more about, finish this interview and talk about some other things about why people just don't quite like Miss Meghan Markle. And I appreciate everyone for being here today. Remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and head on over to my premium channels to look at more content that I'm doing outside of the royal family. And I thank you all for being here, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace and love. Bye.